I'm gonna see if you know the song. If you know the song, you get your gangster credit.
Damn.
And this is not even like 100% gangster song. It was a remix of one of the greatest hip hop artists of all time, Tupac Shakur. Every corner, every city, there's a place where life's a little easy, little Hennessy, laid back and cool. Every hour, 'cause it's so good. We won't. Julia.
I didn't listen to him.
You didn't listen to no Tupac Shakur?
No.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Wait, what did you listen to growing up then?
A lot of rock music.
Oh, see, that's the shit that I don't know about.
Yeah.
I feel like I fucked up because you know when I talk to Tim or Gio or Bart, I feel like their knowledge and library of music is a lot bigger than mine.
Oh hell yeah.
Because for me, it's just it's like hip hop and R&B.
Right.
But outside of that, I
Yeah.
didn't listen to a lot of genres. So every time like people they reference like some I don't know, name like a rock band that you used to listen to.
Yellow Card. That's my favorite.
See, I should know a couple. So if you sing a Yellow Card song,
Yeah.
because it was so popular on the radio,
Yeah.
I can remember it. So
Okay.
sing one right now.
If I could find you now, things would get better. If we leave this town, we'll run forever.
What's the chorus? I know. But
that's the chorus.
Oh, is it? But I heard that song before.
Right.
So that's during the time where there was a lot of like emo.
Yeah.
What's that? Alternative rock? Is that what
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
called?
yeah,
It was Yellow
alternative.
Card. What's another band?
Oh my gosh. There's All Time Low. There was oh my god, why am I blinking out? Oh, All American Rejects.
Sing an All American. I know I guarantee you I'll know one of those songs that you'll sing from them.
Oh my gosh.
What's that one that goes all the small things? Who's that? Who's that?
That's Blink 182.
Is it? Fuck, I don't know shit,
All
man.
the small things. Truth cares, truth rings. Always, I know you'll be at my show, watching, waiting.
See, there you go.
Commiserate. I don't remember.
Those are the
if I
most
remember.
basic fucking lyrics I've ever heard in my life. But that's
Say
why.
it ain't so, I will not go. Turn the lights off, carry me home.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
See, you and I grew up in like two different worlds.
We did.
But I definitely know that music because it was so popular. It was on the
Yeah.
radio. So even if I didn't like fuck with the genre, just because it was constantly being blasted. This was, by the way, prior to fucking Spotify and everything else.
Yeah.
So it just permeated into our lives because you would just hear it on the radio
Yeah.
all the fucking time.
I feel like Smash Mouth would be your jam.
Okay, sing a Smash Mouth song right now because right now that sounds like a dope porno.
yeah. Oh my god. Somebody once told me the world is gonna rule me.
Oh, that sounds so familiar.
I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. So I totally forgot the lyrics, but it's like
I see. I heard that.
Yeah.
Why does that resonate with me? Because he's
I don't
calling
know
himself
because
dumb.
yeah, and then there's something with like
said,
a
yeah.
L with the an L on the shape of your I don't know something on the shape of your forehead. I totally forgot.
What about this? How many brothers fell victim to the streets? Rest in peace, young N-word. There's a no.
No, I don't know that one. I mean, I think the other one I probably would know would be like, "Baby Got Back." That would be one. Or what is how does that one song go where it's like, "Move, bitch, get out the
Talking
way."
about Ludacris.
I guess so. I don't know. I've heard
those
it
are
in
really like
snippets.
popular hits too.
Yeah.
You don't know any like Kanye West or anything?
I know some Kanye West, but I don't know a lot though. Like I never dwelled into like the hip hop like.
Oh, but Kanye
Rap,
West, though, not
yeah.
even like his College Dropout album.
No,
Everybody-
dude, that was a good album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know any song from the College Dropout?
Not by heart, but I'm sure I heard it.
Then now my flow is in the pocket like wallets. I got the bounce like hydraulics. I can call it. I got the swirl like alcoholics. Oh, dude, I freaking love that album, dude.
Yeah.
Kanye West's College Dropout arguably is one of the best hip hop albums of all time. I fucking said it.
What do you think about his what was it 808 Heartbreak?
Yo, 808 and Heartbreaks was so weird because for me, I didn't really fuck with it that hard. But a lot of people that I know that liked it, and the reason why is because Kanye West is somebody who constantly just reinvented himself. So every album that came out was a representation of what was going on in his life at the time. So 808 and Heartbreaks, I'm thinking from what I've read, I can't remember now, but he was going through some shit, some heartbreak.
Yeah.
And so that was like his ode to his emotions at that time. I mean, his production quality is always wild as fuck. I mean, there was a few tracks on 808 and Heartbreaks. I can't remember them right now, but if after college dropout, graduation, it kind of went a little off for me. And then obviously like his tracks before that time, his mixtapes were really dope.
Yeah.
But when it starts to get into 808 and Heartbreaks, what was that? What was that one track? Saying no, 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 I'm not loving you. You know that.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
That, you know, I didn't vibe with it at the time because it wasn't what I was going through. But a lot of the stuff that he did before, just because he was such like he was so crafty with his words.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like his production quality was amazing. Like I didn't get to go to his. I really wanted to go to his graduation concerts. Because during when that album came out, I heard his fucking concerts were wild. I'm talking about he had like a full choir and everything. I never got to experience that shit.
Wow.
And by the time I had money to go to his concerts, it's by the time I fucking started hating him. So even on some weird shit.
I see. Wow. Yeah, I don't think I really got into hip hop very much when I was younger, just because whatever was playing on the radio, it just really turned me off. Just based on the lyrics itself, because it was a lot about drugs and sex and just like literally anything that I just didn't really resonate with. And so to me it just wasn't relatable, and so I was like, I'm not living that life. And it doesn't make me feel hard like you know, like I'm a gangster. Yeah, to me I'm just like, wow, that's just gross.
That's very honest with you though, because
Yeah.
a lot of people will listen to that music and they feel like they want to live that lifestyle, which was so weird to me. You know.
Yeah.
So you listen to like, I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. Listen to Iron Maiden baiting me. Ooh. Who sings that?
I don't remember, but that sounds really familiar.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Oh, what was that one band called? Papa Roach.
Oh,
Those motherfuckers were popular as shit. Cut my life into pieces. Bang. This is my last resort. They was so. That music was so emotional.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of hip hop is actually going towards that route. They call it like emo rap.
Right, which is cool. I think I can definitely relate to it now.
Well, yeah, I mean that stuff
Yeah.
is very much so. I mean, if you're younger too, you may not realize, but a lot of that alternative rock shit is the emo rap that you're listening to right now. It's just done with a different beat now, and obviously it's done through hip hop. But the subject matter and how it's connecting with the youth is basically like teenage angst. Like you feel like you're not being understood.
Yep.
You feel like things aren't really going your way. Relationship problems, which you know, hip hop back in the day. I mean, they would have love songs and stuff. Like I remember when LL Cool J did that song with Boys to Men. Hey lover, this is more than a crush. Like they had those type of like mixes and shit. But yeah, it was more like about shooting and killing people.
Yeah, I just couldn't relate. Nor did I want to do anything like that. So yeah, to me, I just didn't really want to listen to it.
Did you so aside from like rock, what else did you listen to?
I guess some pop, but I honestly don't remember. I feel like the type of rock music I listen to, I think a lot of rock people don't see it as rock because it's like more like pop punk or like alternative rock.
Oh, is there like beef within like the rock community and shit?
Kind of,
Like,
I think
like if you listen to
so.
punk rock and you listen to alternative rock, it's like, dude, what the fuck is that?
I mean, they cross over a lot together, but I think like those that, you know, compared to like just classical rock or just rock as in like, I don't know, oh my god, what do you call them?
How fucking dare you, Julia?
I know. I was thinking about Aerosmith, but then that's not quite it. I was thinking, oh my god.
Oh, Creed? No, I'm kidding.
No. Oh my god, who sang Bohemian Rhapsody?
Are you talking about, I was about to say Prince, not Prince,
No.
David So. Fucking mustache, fucking AIDS.
Yeah, but I forgot the band name that sang it. I'm sorry.
Oh my, I should know this too.
Yeah.
And my mind is going fucking blank. For somebody who does music, I don't know shit about music.
Yeah, but I mean, like for something of that band, I'm sorry, guys out there that I can't, for the life
Oh
of me, I
my
can't
God,
remember
how
the
am I
band
forgetting
name.
his fucking name?
Yeah. Oh, something Mercury. Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury. God
Yeah,
damn
but
it.
then he was of what band though? Freddie Mercury of what band? But
don't know, I just know Freddie
regardless,
Mercury.
like I mean, I feel like those are the people that feel like that's what rock is, and
Yeah.
that's like what good rock is.
Yeah.
And then for me, it's just like child's play. I
Did
guess.
you like music growing up? Or was it just something that it would just be on here and there, but you never really like 100% got into it?
I think for me, it was pretty much just on here and there. And then
Mm-hmm.
when I did get into it, it was just only a specific sound.
Mm.
Yeah.
Dude, music for me was just for me to get women to talk to me, dude. That's the only thing I ever gave a fuck about, dude. Is that right when I picked up that guitar, I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get some pussies wet.
Damn.
It was like the thing, though. Dude, are you telling me that you didn't have one of those little Asian fucks with a guitar on campus all the
Oh, no, we
fucking
did,
time?
we did.
Those fuckers, dude. I wasn't one of them. I brought my guitar specifically because I had choir, and then we would like practice music together. But other than that, I wouldn't bring it there because I felt weird.
I thought you were going to do a little bit of like dashboard confessions.
Oh my god, sing me a dashboard confessional song
Yeah.
right now, and I bet
don't-
you I know it.
I don't remember. I think it was, I don't remember. I think they did one for Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
It was a long ass time ago.
See these bands, like if you say it, I'll remember it.
Yeah.
But when I was in high school,
Switchfoot.
Switchfoot.
Yeah.
I know of that band, but I don't know any of their music.
Really?
Yeah.
You might have heard it.
If you sing, like I said, if you sing it, I'll probably know it.
There's one that says like it goes like dare you to breathe.
I dare you to move.
Yeah, there you go.
I dare you to move.
Yeah, there's that one.
Yeah, see, I heard this music.
Yeah.
I don't know any lyrics, but dude, it was so funny because when I was in high school, there was a dude that was really popping off of it wasn't. I don't want to say it was SoundCloud. It could have been SoundCloud or an iteration of what it was before that. But he was huge. This is before YouTube was popping, and he was really putting like R&B and acoustic music on the spot. And it was two people at the time.
Wow.
It was this guy. It was two Filipino cats. He went by Passion.
Yes, I remember Passion and
Gabe Bondoc. And so everybody used to take their music, go to campus, practice it at home,
Yeah.
make sure that the shit was on point, go find themselves a nice big booty fucking Filipino girl and sing that song, dude. And that shit right there is how I lost my virginity. Jeremy Passion, thank you so much. Jeremy Passion helped me lose my virginity because that song was powerful as hell. If you sang his song Lemonade,
Yeah.
dude, all the girls were like, "Oh my god, who's that?" Oh,
Sing
you
a snippet. Sing a snippet. I want to hear it.
Fuck. Like I should know this because, dude, I used to go when I heard that song. First of all, I fucked with the song because I loved it.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I was like, this right here, cuz, is gonna get a woman to touch my penis, and that shit fucking worked, dude. He doesn't know. He's probably one of the biggest reasons why at that time a lot of dweeby Asian guys lost their virginity because of that song. Dude,
He
everybody
opened opportunities for you guys.
he opened the gateway
doors.
to the first vagina I've ever had, and
Wow.
I have not turned back since. Jeremy Passion, you don't know, man. You've been popping cherries since the year 2000, dude. Thank you so much, man. You know, he actually tweeted me a long time ago saying, I don't want to say he said he was a fan of mine, but he knew who I was. But
Yeah,
he doesn't know that I've been knowing before he knew who I was, who he was, dude. He don't even know that, dude.
You dude, bring him on.
I would love to, but I think he lives out in the Bay Area. There was a lot of cats that were on this space before YouTube popped off that kind of really put it on for some Asian dudes because he was one of those dudes that he has kind of like a music soul child vibe. So I could be wrong. I haven't really talked to him, but just listening to his music and the chord progressions that he uses, he clearly listens to a lot of Music Soul Child, and I love Music Soul Child. He was like one of my like R&B like gods that I used to follow back in the day. And I gotta tell you, man, Lemonade. Do you remember that song?
I don't. That's why I'm asking you to sing it.
Fuck. She's my sunshine in the rain. I can't remember. Exactly what I need. She's soothing like the ocean rushing on the sand. Something like that. But it was like it was such a like touching love song.
Yeah.
And even if it wasn't mine, when you looked into the windows of a woman's soul, they thought, "Oh my God, this shit for me."
I mean, I think the first time I heard about Passion was when ISA first started.
ISA stands for what?
something secret agents, like is it international secret agents?
Something
No.
like that. But that was started by Wong Fu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had that, and on the set list it was Wong Fu, and then there's Kina Grannis, and then there's Passion, and I think AJ
Kina
Raphael.
Grannis.
Yeah.
Yo, Kina Grannis one time, I was doing the show out in San Francisco. It was for this Chinese New Year thing, and Verizon actually throws some kind of like major event in Chinatown in San Francisco. I think they're one of the major sponsors, and the Kina Grannis was performing, and I was up there with my homegirl Nikki Sun, and Kina Grannis, she touched my forearm. And I freaked the fuck out. Kina Grannis, you don't even know. I did not wash that forearm for 3 weeks.
I actually bumped into some friends at ISA, and I was like, oh, and like they were the type of friends that I didn't actually expect them to be at that event.
Yeah.
And I asked them like what they were doing there, and they're like, oh, we're here for Kina Grannis, and I was like,
Dude, of
that's
course.
it, right? And then like as soon as Kina Grannis finished her set, they're like, all right, we're bouncing, see you later. And they
Of course.
just left.
Kina Grannis, man, she was, I mean, not was, she's first of all a talented musician.
Very talented.
She was so pretty.
Yeah.
She is very pretty.
Yeah.
She's one of the only girls that I know that when after she chopped off her hair, I was like, I actually like you even more.
Yeah, she's real cute with her hair like short.
She could do whatever she wants to.
Yeah.
I love you, Kina, but I'm taken. Like that matters. I like how I say that as if it ever fucking mattered on earth. Like she even knows who I am. I guarantee you.
She's married, right?
Yeah, she's married.
Yeah,
She's happy,
okay.
dude.
Yeah.
Could be happier. I'm
What?
kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow, David.
I have Mariel. I love her so much.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but music on that during that time was so interesting because prior to like Spotify and all this other stuff, and like YouTube was like that platform that everybody used to go out there and really like show what they had. And I think
Yeah.
like when I was growing up, like having an Asian guy singing like R&B music was not a thing. Like
No.
people did not expect that. So, just to go back to Jeremy Passion, when he was doing it, I just had to jump on that fucking wave, dude. And I was trying to be a comic too, but I was like, yo, man, making people laugh does not get me vagina whatsoever. It would always be a situation where, like, if let's say I was at a bar or something, and this is like in my 20s, like, oh, well, you should meet my friend David, man. He's really, really funny. It's like, cool. And the girl's like, oh, you're really funny, cool. But then they would leave with some other guy, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to start doing music. That's what I need to do because music is amazing.
Hell yeah. I remember watching your skits because I was introduced to you with the UCLA girl
Yeah.
video, the rant that you had about her. And then I think slowly on your channel you started to promote that you had your music channel.
Yeah.
And then
I actually started with the music channel first before my comedy.
I didn't know, but yeah, and so like because you like cross-reference those channels together,
Yeah.
I clicked on one of your videos and you started singing. I was like, oh my God, dude, this fool can sing.
I wanted to be a musician first. So
Yeah.
prior to my David So comedy channel, I actually had a music channel before that I deleted. So my type of personality, and maybe I didn't share this story before, but
You
when
deleted it?
I deleted it. And at the time, I can't remember the exact subscriber count that I had on it, but it was pretty high for the time. And whatever, I might have said like a random number before just to give something, give something for people to bite on. But let's say it was like, I don't know, like 100,000 followers. During that time, it was a lot. And
Oh,
this
hell
is
yeah.
during my music channel days. I deleted all those videos. So in the same fashion that I had with like Genius Brain, when I rebranded my channel from David So Comedy to Genius Brain,
Yeah.
I did the same thing for my music to going into comedy. And the reason why I did that was because when I was trying to be a comic, there was a big issue that I had, right? And it's a lot of issues that I think young people have. When I was young, and the biggest problem that is having too many options, and I wanted to do everything and anything, and it's still a problem that I have till this day. It's like when you want to do everything and anything, the problem with that is that you'll never be able to master a single craft really well. If you master a craft, it's going to be a constant thing that's going on, but you won't be able to get to a certain level if you keep splitting up your time with 6 or 7 different things.
Yeah.
So when I started doing music, I started doing music and comedy around the same time, but I was way more into music than I was comedy. And so I had to make a choice. I was like, okay, so what are you going to be? Are you going to be a comic or are you going to be a musician? And during this time, I was putting more time in the music, but I fell in love with comedy. So I had to make a choice. So I could keep this acoustic soul or whatever, but I felt that because I had this, it was going to hold me back. So I did a very tough thing at the time. I deleted that channel. I completely deleted it. Gone.
Really? Not just hide it, private it?
No, I don't even know if YouTube had that option at that time.
Oh.
Or maybe I was just dumb and I didn't know. And I just deleted the whole fucking channel. But I actually deleted my music channel that had maybe like 100,000 followers. And whatever that number was, it was a big accomplishment.
Right.
And I was booking shows through that, like San Francisco. And I was doing that show Collaboration before I even became a bigger YouTuber because I was so focused on music.
Yeah.
And so when I left that, I deleted it. I said, you know what? There's no turning back. Delete that channel, move on, start your comedy one.
Yeah.
And I started my comedy one, Davis O Comedy, after I deleted that channel.
So then how did you fall in love with comedy? Because like
I
at that
was
time
always-
you were so into music.
Yeah, but
so-
I was always doing comedy. Like I started, I had fake IDs. I would hit up these comedy clubs, and because I was the same. I was like 6'1" when I was 3 years old. So you know what I mean. And I still don't have facial hair, but
I'm more curious about how your fake ID looked like.
it looked like a regular California license ID.
I know, but was it with your picture on there?
Yeah,
or-
I just look old.
I see.
Like I legit had the same face since I was like fucking 16.
Damn it! I was hoping that it was a picture that looked completely different from you.
No, it was my face. And like some of these clubs don't give a fuck, dude. So I would get into these comedy clubs, and then long story short, I just started falling in love with comedy more. And to be honest with you, it was mainly because I think I was just a better comedian than I was a musician. Like I never really loved music as much as I loved making people laugh. And the reason why was because like even right now, and it goes back to me understanding just like music history. I know nothing about it. Like, we were struggling to say who Freddie Mercury was.
Yeah.
Somebody who's like highly iconic in music in general. And I don't
Right.
know these people. I don't know all this different music. Even if you ask like hip hop artists, right? You
Yeah.
ask them about certain musicians that made big waves, even if it's outside of their genre, they'll know what they're talking about, or whatever that person's talking about if they're having a conversation with somebody about music. And that's because it's their job. I didn't have that same passion for music. I did not. And so for me, I had to understand, okay, are you going to waste your time on something that's just a hobby just because you're using it just because it gives you attention? Or are you going to put your time into something that makes you really happy?
Right. Right.
And comedy made me happy. Comedy was a way for me since I was a little kid. I was a goofball.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't know the craft about it. I didn't go to like UCB or anything else like that. I just had real world experience. I just went up on stage and I saw what happened. So comedy was something that just always rewarded me with something that was more than just like recognition. Like the ability to make somebody laugh about something you're not supposed to laugh about was a task that I really enjoyed. And it started off with me. Right. So when like I think we mentioned this before on the podcast that we did, I was a fat kid, still a bigger guy now. But as a fat kid, a lot of kids would make fun of you, whether it was because of my glasses, the way I looked, the way I behaved, or it didn't really matter. But with comedy, you're allowed to take those negative attributes and flip it and make it into something funny. So I would do that by making fun of myself first before somebody else could.
Yeah.
And for me, laughter and comedy was so healing,
Yeah.
which made me want to pursue it. And I think like that's why I went into the stand-up route.
Oh.
Yeah. So stand-up was like the big thing for me because being able to grab a mic, go up on stage, make people laugh, and people said like, you dude, like you just, you cracked me the fuck up and changed my perspective. You know?
How was your very first performance like?
My very first performance was actually this church, like right around the corner from my place. It was right across this park that we used to go, but there was a church that opened up in like this warehouse area, and they did an open mic comedy night. And I just remember I just walked in there and I just did a terrible, terrible set. It was so fucking bad.
Oh no.
And then I,
bad because no one laughed, or
yeah,
like
nobody laughed. I was not funny. I was not funny.
I see.
And, just because people don't understand, like just because you're a funny person doesn't mean you could do stand-up comedy.
Right.
I have a friend back in Sacramento that wanted to do stand-up too. And he did stand-up. And mind you, if we're in a conversation, let's say like me and you, like let's say I'm me and you're him.
Right.
That fool could make me laugh and go into tears.
Yeah.
But if you put him on stage with the mic, because he thought that the conversations that we were having, that he could turn it into stand-up, but he couldn't because it takes skill. It takes storytelling. It takes nuance. It takes practice. It's a really difficult craft.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm an amazing stand-up comic, but I can do it decently.
Yeah.
You know, I obviously haven't practiced it in years, but this guy, he didn't really understand how difficult stand-up was. And so he went up on stage and he bombed. And this is him like later on. This is like after like 6 years I've been doing stand-up. He started doing stand-up too.
Damn.
And he would just go up on stage and fucking crickets.
No.
Because he would try to tell these stories on stage to a group of strangers. But the reason why they were funny to us is because the people that he would talk about in those stories, we knew who they were.
Yeah.
So there was already a background to it. So he would never
Yeah.
set up his jokes. And we would try to get him to understand that. And he just kept bombing over
Oh
and
my
over.
gosh. Oh, that sounds like a nightmare.
It is. It's nerve-wracking. It's hard.
Yeah.
Stand-up is a very difficult craft. That's why when I watch people like Bobby Lee, he's been doing it for years. The guy's a master at his craft.
Yeah. Dude, you know, obviously, I mean, I'm still a fan of you, David, but like when I was a super fan, like way
Yeah.
back, because I didn't know much about you, I tried so hard to try to find videos of you doing your stand-up. And like I was just trying to figure out
There's a few now.
I know there is a few. Like I managed to find a few, and I was one of those people that was so down and ready to fucking buy a ticket and watch you do stand up.
Yeah. I when I was doing stand up pretty actively, it was only when I first started, like the first 2 years. And so I would go to like the Ice House Pasadena and I would like do material, but then I slowly started to find out that a lot of these college shows were different than doing a stand up at an actual comedy club. So comedy clubs, they were a lot more open.
Yeah.
You could say what I'm talking about. You go to comedy clubs, depending on which one you go to and who goes up,
Yeah.
people say some wild shit and nobody really gets that offended.
Yeah.
You know, aside from saying very like racially offensive things, depending on who that person is, right? So if, like, let's say if a white dude's up there and he's trashing on black people as a joke,
Right.
it's probably not going to go over really well,
Right.
Or if a dude is trashing on women without any nuance and not without any background to it, then obviously it's going to go bad. But other than that, it's pretty open. It was like a safe space. You get to go up there, go to a comedy club, test your material out. If it fails, go back to the drawing board. Either you rewrite that joke, if you still believe in the joke, you
Yeah,
either
yeah.
rewrite it or you trash it and move on.
Yeah.
College shows were a little different. It wasn't a lot of the stuff that would kill in the comedy club that I would use. I would try to do it at college shows if people would get either offended or they feel weird about it. So I was like, oh, this is a very different space.
Yeah.
So for me, I would walk up on stage, I would like peep through the blinds and the curtains and I would take a look at everybody out there.
Yeah.
Like what's the,
David so.
I would look, I'm like, what's the age group?
Yeah.
How many women are in there? How many dudes? And I would kind of base it off of that type of stuff just because like I felt like the college crowd was a little more sensitive. They wouldn't listen to the comedy. They would just listen for trigger words and get mad. And I hated that shit because it's
Yeah.
like, dude, you got to listen to the content first. Like, don't just get angry just to be angry at this point. Right. So like, I mean, I plan to do stand up again starting actually next year.
I would love to go and see you. I want to
Yeah.
support you. Let me buy the ticket.
Yeah. So we're going to like, I'm definitely going to do stand up next year for sure.
Yay.
Like people don't know, like in this phone and in my computer, I have literally like hundreds of pages of stand up. I constantly write all the time. It's just something I've done since I was 16.
Yeah.
So whenever I find something funny, I write it down.
Oh my gosh. So then like prior to you actually performing up on stage, how long do you practice? Like do you do your whole set?
It depends. For me, because I had such short sets when I first started out and I was
Yeah.
an absolute nobody, I rarely ever got like past 15 minutes to do a set.
Yeah.
I didn't prep much. I had a lot of hitters and I would do a lot of crowd work.
I see.
The longest show that I did was out in Minnesota. I did an hour set.
Whoa.
Yeah, I did an hour set. That was super. Bart and Joe were there. So they were there to witness my first hour set.
Damn.
Yeah, I did a full fucking hour. And I don't remember anything that I said because it was such a last minute show. I didn't get to prep for it very well. And so it was
Did
cool.
they surprise you? It's like, oh, surprise, we booked you for an hour.
No, it wasn't confirmed that I was going to do the show. And it didn't seem like it was going to get booked. So I didn't prep for it.
Oh, I see.
So I was like, fuck it. It's not going to happen. So, and then when it got booked, it was like 2 weeks out and I was busy doing other things that I
Yeah.
didn't really get to prepare. But the good thing is because I've done stand up for so long, I still had a lot of old sets in my head.
Yeah.
And so I had to tweak it to make it funny. I mean, some of the stuff didn't do as well, but
Yeah.
I mean, Bart and Joe said I killed it. I don't know if they were being nice, but I remember it went pretty well. I think people were laughing. I mean, I did an
Yeah.
hour and then people were cracking up. So
Yeah.
hopefully that means I did well.
Yeah.
But who knows? Like, you know, comedy too, it's one of those things that I felt like after a while it started to die out for me. Not because I don't like stand-up comedy anymore. It was because I just was tapped out. like it didn't bring the same joy.
Oh, interesting.
Because all I ever wanted to do was be a stand-up comic originally. That's it.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I was just like, there's other ways to make people laugh. And that's when YouTube popped up. You know, YouTube was a way. I was like, oh, I can make people laugh doing sketches and writing. And there's other ways to express my humor and get people to feel that same way through a different avenue. And that was through writing sketches, you know, doing these comedy vlogs, so, you know, quote unquote vlogs, and doing that type of shit.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So you've changed a lot. Like
Oh,
your
yeah.
paths have changed quite a lot.
It happens, and people don't understand. Like people, oh, how do you have your life figured out? I don't have my fucking life figured out.
No, I don't think anyone does.
Nobody does, dude. And that's what happens. A lot of people they look at somebody else and they say, well, how do I get to be that person because they have everything figured out? They don't. Nobody fucking has
No.
shit figured out.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't know what I'm doing at all. Out of our group, out of the main people, I'm probably the one that is the most lost.
No, you're telling me. I feel like I have like zero. I mean, I have a loose direction, but I don't even know how my life is right now. I don't even know how I'm living.
Well, you know, and that's how life's supposed to be, though.
Yeah.
You know, I guess the advice that I would give certain people that think that I have everything figured out, I always tell them, you know, there's going to be moments in your life where you feel like everything is going right. You know your path, you know your lane, but after year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, you're going to say, well, I want more than this.
Yeah.
And I want to do something else. And that thought scares them because they go, well, oh shit, now either one, they feel like they're a loser. They feel like they're just wasting their time or whatever it is. But what they're forgetting is that because everybody is so good at going on social media and saying, I have everything figured out. Yo, pursue your dreams, find that goal, tackle it, and then everything is fucking good.
Right.
You guys, you fucking 6-pack tan bullshitting motherfuckers, dude. You don't have shit figured out. All you do is you go on your fucking Instagram, you write a post about how everything is great, but you kind of mislead these people who are lost.
Yeah.
And my thing is, my brand is always shit. I say, you know what? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. All I know is that when I find something that I enjoy,
Yeah.
in that moment, I'm going to try to master it to the best of my ability. If it doesn't work out, I have to figure out when I should bail out or try something else.
Yeah. And I think as you're exploring these different paths, like you get to know more about yourself, whether
Yeah.
you're someone who works better under like an organized type of position, or if you're an entrepreneur and you just want to blaze a path.
Yeah.
Like it's very interesting because like when you were talking about how, you know, after year 2, year 3, you want more, right?
Yeah.
Like you've achieved your goal and you want more, right? And I feel like when you have that feeling and when you have that thought, it's kind of like the way I see it is that you've now become an entrepreneur. Like
Yeah.
you've become someone that wants to grow more and not necessarily like under somebody, but like you just want to grow and do more things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think for me, it's like I feel like I'm more in the middle, but I think I lean more towards someone who just likes to follow.
And I don't think for you should think about it as you're somebody who likes to follow. A
Yeah.
lot of the times when you guys hear these self-help podcasts and people give you advice about shit,
Yeah.
you think to yourself like, okay, well, I'm fucking up because I'm not an entrepreneur. That's not most people in this world. Most people aren't entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Like it's difficult. It's difficult for me, and people consider me an entrepreneur, and I really don't see myself like that. But I guess I am because I do own businesses and stuff.
Yeah, you do.
But you don't have to look down on yourself because that's not your path.
Oh yeah, I don't. I
Yeah.
don't because like I think for me it's like I'm just testing out these different paths.
Yeah.
And I'm just figuring out what works best for me and like what I prefer and what I like.
Yeah.
And I like structure.
Yeah.
And I like it if you were to give me a list of things that you need me to do, and I'll do it.
Yeah.
And if you were to be like, hey, I just need some of these things kind of done. You just figure out what needs to get done. To me, I'm just like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Like I get so lost,
Yeah.
and so to me, like I know personally from like just experience and practice that I don't function that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like what I say too. It's, you know, you understand where your skills lie,
Mm-hmm.
and also you're a very important part of a constantly moving machine.
Yeah, yeah.
And without you, this machine wouldn't work. There is like the top person who thinks about these ideas, but we do need people to execute that
Hell
very
yeah.
fucking well. And there's a lot
That's
of
me.
Yeah. And there's a lot of variability within that job, right? So
Mm-hmm.
for example, nothing is ever like clear cut. right? So let's say if you're a producer and I say, hey, I need this, this, and this, you
Yeah.
can't come back and say, oh, we don't have it. You figure out and you give me options.
Yeah.
There's ways for you to have that entrepreneur tenacity within
Yeah.
the job as you're doing your tasks.
Yep.
And that's like the thing that people have to realize too. Like you just don't look at what we're doing and saying that, oh, I'm not enough because I can't do what they do. And what you'll find out too is let's say you really do want to be an entrepreneur and you feel like you're better at taking directions instead of creating your own path. Well, find that group or that company that you want to be with that aligns with your goals.
Yep.
Because there's also a lot of free time where you develop things outside of a career.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
agree.
So
Yeah.
people kind of base their whole identity off the job that they have. And you know, I honestly feel like a majority of myself and who I am as a human being works outside of the work that I'm doing.
Yeah.
This job and this career does make me happy. Like I get to connect and, you know, people get to hear these insights. But outside of me being on this microphone or me going up on stage doing stand up, I have my own personal life and my own goals outside of that I look forward to, right? Yeah. Oh, but before we continue,
Oh.
we do have a sponsorship, people. That's right. First of all, let me just say this before we go on here and start doing this real quick with this amazing company that fucks with Genius Brain. Okay. Thank you for those people who are listening and watching this shit because
Yeah.
without you guys, companies like Audible wouldn't fuck with us so heavy. You know what I'm saying? So let me just go ahead and read off this piece of paper real quick just to give you guys a taste of what Audible's about. Could listening make you a better parent, a better leader, even a better lover? It doesn't say that.
They should add that on the list.
They should, but check it out. With
Yeah.
Audible, you get access to an unbeatable selection of audiobooks, including bestsellers, motivation, mysteries, thrillers, memoirs, and more. Audible has the largest selection of audiobooks on the planet, people. With Audible Originals, the selection has gotten even more custom with content made for members. Now check it out. The book that I've been listening to on Audible is actually Save the Cat. If you guys don't know what Save the Cat is, if you're somebody out there that wants to be a screenwriter and specifically sell very, I'd say like Hollywood sellable movies, or even if you're going the indie route, I really appreciate Save the Cat. So I read it once and I've been listening to the audiobook as I drive, just because it refreshes me when I write these scripts, right? So when I write these scripts, there's when you start off and you don't know structure, Blake Snyder's Save the Cat is a great way to start. Check that shit out, and you can get it on audible.com, my friends. So Audible members can choose 3 titles every month, 1 audiobook and 2 Audible originals that you can't hear anywhere else. Audible members also get access to exclusive audio fitness programs because we all know a 6-pack is important. And if you don't want a 6-pack, well, guess what? Living a fit life is great as well, dude. Live long so you can listen to Genius Brain and listen to your Audible books, dude. Okay, right? So remember, you can listen on any device, anytime, anywhere, at home, at the gym, or on your commute, or just on the go. You'll also enjoy easy audiobook exchanges, rollover credits, and an audiobook library you can keep forever, even if you cancel, son. So just because you cancel your membership, remember all the books that you do have, you can go back and listen to anyways.
Damn,
So
that's nice.
it is pretty awesome. So remember, Audible, the most inspiring minds, the most compelling stories is what they have. The best place to listen. Get started with a 30-day trial when you go to audible.com/GB or text GB to 500 and listen for a change. Remember, that's audible.com/GB or text 500 and listen for a change. Get started on that 30-day trial, son. Get on that shit and let me know how you guys like it, man. Like, I really do fuck with audible.com. Like, I'm not saying I just use it just because it's a sponsorship. All right. Audible is the shit. All right. Now back to our blah. Anyways, what were we talking about? I don't know. What were we talking about?
Whether you're an entrepreneur or a worker. But I mean, like, it all blends in together, and it just depends on how you work, how you function. Yeah.
Did you ever want to try to be an entrepreneur?
I never really set any goals to be. I think I started thinking more about it when I first started out with JK, And
Yeah.
just seeing them do their own channels and do their own things and their own brand, I'm like, wow. Yeah,
It's inspiring, isn't it?
It is inspiring, and it's very motivational, because when you're surrounded by something like that, you're like, oh, you start believing that you can actually achieve those things, even though like you never thought you could.
Yeah.
It's like things started to become more possible. So like when you guys had SIP and you guys started that out, like it was basically a concept, and then like I don't know like how much time has passed, but it felt so quick that you guys already had a physical store. And I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell? And to me, it was just kind of eye-opening, because I'm like, man, literally, if you have an idea and if you work towards making that come true, it will come true.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, it's such a simple thought, but it just never hit so hard for me until that moment where I was like, wow, dude, like I must be a real lazy ass for not wanting to do things. Like I'm thinking about all these things, but I don't do any effort or put any effort into making that happen. And then when I saw that, I'm like, okay, I should work harder.
But if you think about it in that case, like for example, with the matcha spot that we have, right?
Yeah.
SIP. That happens because the team is amazing.
Right.
So it's not because Joe and I sat around and we said, hey, let's do a matcha shop. Cool, we're gonna get it done by ourselves. So we have obviously the main people. So
Right.
Joe and I are more of the marketing team slash investors. And then we have the people who are really the heart of the business, which is Dan, Jeremy, June,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Anna.
I mean, yeah, they are a great team, but I also feel like if you guys didn't push to find a great team or to trust in a great team, it would have never happened. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's definitely a team effort, and that took me a while because I started to realize too, as I was, opening a lot of these businesses, and I failed a couple times. Is that the concept can be great, but I also started to learn that I should start investing into people, like the right people. So a lot of people talk a big game, dude, and you know about the drama that I had with one of my businesses, dude. Fuck that guy. No. Like no hate or animosity towards him. He's just a fucking dumbass, and like the dude, that's what I fucked up on. Like I invested into more of his skills that he portrayed as somebody who knew what he was doing with food, rather than his business tactics and who he was as a person. So like in his case, the guy has, it's kind of dumb when I really think about it, and I think like against my own instincts, I said, you know what? This is a friend of mine. I'm going to believe in him. But there's a reason why somebody would fail 2 businesses before they start a 3rd one with me. And the way he would phrase it made it sound like he met the wrong people. And for me, I was thinking, okay, you know what? I'm the right person. So with his skill set and me, I could blow this place up. And the place did really, really, really well.
Yeah.
But the problem with having a business that it doesn't matter if it does well or not. If you go into work and you walk in every day and you say, you know what? I hate the people here. I don't like being here. No matter how successful that business is now, in the future, it's going to fail.
Yep.
Because walking in and disliking what you're doing is going to be a forever struggle. And that is something that just doesn't go away.
And it'll just kill you slowly on the inside,
Yes.
and then your business will become worse.
It's a reflection of you.
Yep.
And that's what we always want with all these businesses that we do own. We want it to be a reflection of ourselves, specifically when it comes to like SIP or, Shrimp Daddy or everything else. Like customer service is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I think for me, like when I walk into a place, like there are stuff that we could arguably probably make at home. But we come into an establishment because we want people to say, I had a great experience.
Yeah.
So when you guys come to SIP and you guys check it out, if you guys have a bad experience, remember, don't be quiet about that shit. Like come up, talk to an employee and say, hey, like I felt like you guys were blah, 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 or something else. And we'll constantly work on that type of stuff. I just don't like that Yelp culture right now where people are so fucking brave and they talk a lot of shit on Yelp. But all you had to do was talk to us when we're at the business.
Yeah.
And then we would have helped you out. It's not a problem.
I don't know. Some people are just weird. Like they just want that attention.
It's just...
Or do they feel like they're the whistleblowers? I don't know.
So Yelp has a thing, right?
Yeah.
So there's actually, I read this book and it had a lot to deal with like marketing and shit. I forgot what the exact terminology is, but people have this thing of wanting to be the who's who in the group, meaning that I know something that you don't know.
Oh.
So that's why a lot of these restaurants do have secret menus. The reason why you have secret menus, I mean, it doesn't make sense. If it's an item that does really well, why not just put it on the menu? You know why? It's because it actually creates like this marketing fervor for something.
Yeah.
So people go, oh, well, you know, if you go to, let's say, what's a diner that you have? Oh, you know, if you go to Diner Blue Apples,
Yeah.
right? If you ask for the pie and say you want it flipped upside down in a butt,
Yeah.
you know what they'll do with the with the apple pie
Yeah.
is that they'll flip the apple pie upside down, put sugar and crust it with the glaze on top.
Yeah, yeah.
And they go, "Oh, I didn't know about that." So they like to be the person who knows something about something that you don't know.
Yeah. I remember In-N-Out was the biggest craze.
Oh, dude, the
back
Flying
then.
Dutchman, all
Oh,
this other
hell
weird
yeah.
shit, right? So, and that's really a huge memory that people have of In-N-Out.
Mm-hmm.
And people do this a lot with restaurants. And it's a great idea. And it also creates kind of a cool relationship
Mm-hmm.
with the customer base. And that's kind of what Yelp does. So Yelp is a way for people to, number one, say things without accountability because it's not their restaurant. If you do Yelp, so I have a Yelp review too, but I don't do it under my name.
Mm-hmm.
And I only give 4 or 5 stars. And if I give that person a 1 star, they must have done something terrible.
Damn.
But I don't think I've ever given a 1 star because in my opinion, if the food is bad and the place is not good, eventually they will close down on its own.
Yeah.
So I don't have to go out of my way to destroy a business.
Another thing I realized with some Yelp reviews is that people get really emotional in there and it has nothing to do with the food.
Oh, 100%. Dude, did you read some of these Yelp reviews? They're like, okay, so I woke up today and I took a shower and my shower head wasn't working. And I swear to God, I told my landlord to fucking fix the water and nothing happened. And so I took the coldest fucking shower and the only thing that was going to help me was some hot mashed potatoes. So I walked into Denny's.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, what the fuck does that got to do with Denny's?
Yeah.
And then when I asked for mashed potatoes, it came out 5 minutes late and I was like, what? Ever 1 star.
Yeah.
I'm like, hold on a second. The fuck does your non-showering smelly ass has to do with this fucking business?
Right.
You know?
Like customer service, I understand
Mm-hmm.
if you were treated poorly or if the food tasted bad. Like, sure, you can rate it poorly, but it's
Dude,
just.
I don't even give bad reviews for bad customer service as long as the food is good. That's just how I am.
wow.
So if I go into a place, a guy, let's say a French man walks up to me and
Yeah.
he goes, hello, who are you?
Yeah.
You are a Chinese piece of shit. Here is your burger. And I eat the burger and it's fucking delicious. I'm like, you can say whatever you want. As long as you gave me my goddamn burger, Frenchie. You still gotta serve me that burger, bitch. And I just eat it and I'm happy.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm good. Like
Yeah.
I probably won't give them a 5 star.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, I ain't gonna give them a 1 because I ate the food and I was happy.
Yeah.
I'm very simple to please though. Like I'm not, because my parents owned a business, I understand what those reviews do to a business.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, people aren't going to sit there and try to investigate what's going on.
Right.
And a lot of the times, like we were just talking about this with one of my favorite restaurants that's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Like she was telling me that. Oh, so let me tell you this story. There was a time where I walked in and she told me that there was a very, very, very rude customer. And I'm talking about this is the interaction that they had. So, and I heard this too, like over my shoulder. I just couldn't pick up a majority of it.
Yeah.
Because I was faced this way on the counter the other way. And then she kind of told me what happened after. But as she was being, she asked for the menu.
Yeah.
And then she was asking for something that was gluten-free. Of course, LA. Everything
Right.
has to be gluten-free. She asked for this gluten-free dish. And she goes, cool. He goes, oh, we don't really have like any gluten-free, bread or whatever. But what I can do is I could put a burger that you would like and put it on a bed of frisee.
Yeah.
And she goes, how she responded to her, she says, well, that's not a burger, a lettuce wrap then, is it?
What the fuck?
And then she goes, oh, I never said it was a lettuce wrap. I said I could put it on a bed of frisee. She goes, don't tell me what I said and I didn't say. And I'm like, yo, dude. She's just like,
my
just
God.
going off on her. And she
Yeah.
comes back, gives her food, and then she just super disrespectful and rude as fuck and just storms the fuck on out. And clearly that person's going to give a bad 1-star review.
Yeah.
But if you hear that 1-star review and what it says, it's like, well, this person was the owner who was being super disrespectful to me, didn't said that they had a non-gluten-free items and they clearly didn't. She was being snippy with me, but I was there and I witnessed it.
Yeah.
And that's not what happened.
Yeah.
So this is the type of stuff that people have to be mindful of. Like you
Yeah.
don't know what goes on with these like Yelp reviews and these restaurants because sometimes people are just fucking assholes.
Right, and I'm with you. Like, I think I'm pretty easy to please if the service is whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, as long as the food is good, like I'm happy, right? And I think that just for me, for my reasoning of feeling that way is that I also worked at a restaurant too, and I've dealt with so many different customers, and it's just like some of them are just really rude,
Dude.
just straight up rude, and that's why you get a rude response. It's not the workers that are being rude to you; you're being rude to them first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so strange. Like
One of my friends, I got super upset at her because of the way she used to treat like waiters and waitresses.
Oh my gosh.
For example, we were waiting outside to go eat. This is a Sacramento friend, and she's like one of my closest friends. But I got super fucking mad at her because she was upset at the staff because we couldn't get seated in the time that we wanted to get seated, but the place was packed.
Yeah.
I'm talking about it was we were outside. It was so fucking packed, and she was giving this lady so much attitude. I was like, yo. I understand if the person's just waiting around and not doing anything, but do you not see like the front desk person trying, like they're sweating their ass off trying to make sure that everybody can get a seat.
Yeah.
It's not like she's mistreating you on purpose. Like
Yeah.
we're not getting a seat because she's not trying.
Yeah.
It's just that it was a huge influx of people. And then I remember like I kind of like lightweight lectured her and she just sat there super quiet. And I told her like, yo, I can't go out to eat with you. That's how you treat like staff and service because,
Yeah.
if you were on the other end, you would fucking hate that shit.
Yeah, and there. So, at the restaurant that I was working at, especially on holidays, it would get super packed, right, and super busy. There's going to be a lot of walk-ins, right, and so, typically, if there's like a party of 4, they would like to sit at the booths, right, instead of like a regular table, and our boss would tell us that we don't seat like party of 5 on there. I mean, like sure, like you can probably squeeze people like 5 people in it. It's like, but
Yeah.
typically, we don't usually do that, right? And so the hostess was keeping in mind of that, and so she was like trying to seat this party of 4, but then this party of 5 was there before the party of 4, and so then the boss actually went in front of the hostess and be like, "Oh, party of 5 here, follow me," and she takes him to the booth. And then the hostess was like, "What the hell? It's like, you told me not to seat 5 people there." And then she was like, "Oh, it's okay, it's okay." And I was like, so it's not, it sucks because I've seen very poor management and the way that customers see it in like how the hostess is being treated or the waiters are being treated from management. It's kind of like you can't help but get the bad service because there's no direct communication. Like there's no clear communication of like what is the protocol, because this hostess told me that I can't be seated at a booth, but then now you're telling me I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. There's a lot of things that kind of, and that's not really the customer's knowledge to understand that. And so
Yeah.
like, I get that part. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
well, I'm just a customer. I'm not here to fix your personal communication issues. Like I'm just
Right.
getting the bad end of the service. So it makes the restaurant look bad.
Hell
And as an
yeah.
owner of a business too, we have to look at it as like, okay, what can I do better? Then what
Right.
am I fucking up on? And because there's a lot of stuff that we fucked up on too. Like specifically like one of the biggest issues that I had was hiring the right people. And mind you, like for me, that wasn't really my job. But at a certain point, I had to step in and say, like, okay, well, who are you really hiring? And
Right.
with the business that I'm going to let go, they would just hire people who they thought were their friends, and it was so stupid. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they just didn't understand that, like, it's a business, and they didn't think about structure, and they kind of like the way they would treat employees and like give them knowledge would be like, okay, well, I expect them to know everything. It's like, well, how do you expect them to know? You got to explain it to them. Like they're
Yeah.
your employees,
Yeah.
and so, there's a lot of issues that a lot of people who think that they can be business owners, they don't understand that you're a leader. Like you have to guide these people on a regular basis, and they have to be able to trust that you know what you're doing. Because if you don't know what you're doing, the whole system breaks down,
Oh, hell yeah.
right?
Yeah. Like being under that management, it just drove me nuts. And so I just literally told them like, "Hey, I can't work here because this year is a very important year for me." And it was just basically my last year of college. And like they were just like, "No, don't leave us. Like we need you." And I was like, I don't know, like I don't think I can keep coming back, right? Because it just got so hectic, and there was like I was just so frustrating working there every weekend. And so then my boss was telling me, because like, so I was a cashier for the longest time, and she liked me as cashier because I was fast and I was accurate with the money, like handling the money and giving the checks out and everything. And what was annoying to me was how the pay system was. It's like, look, I wouldn't say that I'm a person that feels entitled to how much I get paid.
Yeah.
But it's like, but if you're hiring someone to do their job, like they should do it correctly. And so it was always a cashier, and then there's a hostess, and then there's waiters, right? And so the hostess will be obviously seating people, right? But then if customers have questions, the hostess should be able to answer them.
Yeah.
So we had this hostess that just only sat people but never answered questions, and she would always direct them to me when I'm like already busy with doing other things. And the thing is that the hostess gets tipped more than I do.
Why?
From the whole restaurant. But that's the hierarchy. That's why it was so frustrating, because I was like,
Wait, when does a hostess ever get tipped more than the actual waiters and waitresses?
well, no. As a cashier.
Oh, yeah, cashier,
I
yeah.
got tipped, like, hostess got tipped more than a cashier.
Yeah.
Sure, which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, but if part of your job is to be able to answer customers' questions, like, I'm not here to babysit you and to enable that bad behavior of you don't know what you're talking about.
Was she like related to like the
No,
the
she
owners?
wasn't. She wasn't. She just like, I guess, like,
Sucking some dick behind those doors. Is that
or
what you're
something.
doing?
Yeah, like she kept referring them to me, and I was like, "What the fuck? Like, I can't be doing your job too.
Yeah.
Like, if customers come up to me and ask me a question, sure, that's fine. But if you're gonna bring customers over to me because you can't answer it, I'm like, that's bullshit." And so
Did you ever talk to management about that?
I did. So like, that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to come back, was because that was so frustrating. And I was like telling her, I was like, she needs to know, because if she doesn't know, then like I'm not going to be working here anymore, because it's way too hectic and I don't get paid enough to do this, essentially, right? And so she was just saying, it's like, okay, how about if you just come once in the weekend? Because I think I was working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and she only wanted me to work on Saturdays. And I was like, okay, sure, I can do that, right? I was like, but like I was still kind of hesitant on it, right? And then she was like, I'll make you tteokbokki every weekend. And I was like, okay, Mrs. Kim,
Oh
you
my
got
god,
me.
you are so easy to please, dude. Have a fucking backbone, Julia. Goddamn.
No, but it was food though. It was food that I was craving. It was free fucking food, David.
Okay, he was a Korean person, huh?
Yeah, it was a Korean
Tteokbokki and then fucking Mrs. Kim.
Yeah, Mrs. Kim.
Please, if you work on a Saturday only,
Yeah.
I make you tteokbokki to make you smile.
Yeah. Yeah. So like she kind of brought me with tteokbokki. I was like, damn it. That was the only thing that got me.
It's weird because like working for Korean people and, you know, being a Korean guy myself,
Yeah.
a lot of the times things that got mixed up within Korean businesses was the business and friendship part. So
Yeah.
they try to create like a family environment, sort of, you know, but at the same time, like because when family and business mixes in, it kind of goes worse than it does better, right? So what I mean by that is, let's say like they fucked up on the paycheck or something, right? They're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, well, I'll just fix it next week. Can you wait? It's like
Yeah.
in a regular, but it's like, no, I need that money. You need to fix it now, and there's no question about it.
Yeah.
But for them, they'll be like, but I made you tteokbokki last week. I thought we the family.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
wait for me. If I make you tteokbokki, you cannot wait for me. That's not cool, you know. And so that's where it happens, like where it mixes up a lot. And I used to
see.
hate that shit.
Yeah.
And the one fucking business where I started with Korean people, same fucking problem. And there were issues that I didn't know because I'm not there for the day to day, and I just can't really support and push a business that would do that to employees.
Yeah,
and so.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're gonna have to move on from that. But it's so weird, dude. Like it's such a weird case. Like, you know, we could say that we're family, and family time is family time. You know, after work, you guys,
Yeah.
you can bond, have drinks, go on to like these company trips and picnics. But when it's work time, baby.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be like.
Right. So like, okay, so let me ask you this. Do you believe in tipping?
I believe in tipping if the wage does not support their lifestyle. For example, in Japan and other countries, right?
Right.
Aside from the U.S., there isn't any tipping, but their wage is a lot higher.
Yes.
And so there's two sides to this, right? So let's say I own a restaurant, right? And I told all the employees, by the way, in my restaurant, there's no tipping. There's absolutely no tipping. They
Yeah.
go, cool. They go, what's my incentive? Well, you get paid $18 an hour.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Because you get paid $18 an hour and there's absolutely no tipping, I expect the highest amount of service and I expect your fucking undivided attention when you work. Because now I'm expecting a higher level of skill sets.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm not paying somebody 18, 17, whatever, $16 an hour
Yeah.
to work this part-time job if you're going to come in and just whenever you're in a bad mood or I have to cater to you and shit like that. I expect somebody to be at a skill set and a level to be paid that type of wage.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in other countries. When we went to a restaurant in Japan,
Yeah.
everybody's service was on point,
Oh, hell
and they
yeah.
make a living wage. Like I even heard that people, if you work at a fast food chain at other countries, like let's say like Thailand or fucking Japan, it's actually a living wage. You can live off of that, and they get paid way better. And people in America, they hear that, they go, "How come they get paid like that?" Well, do you have their service? Do you work as hard as them? Do you like? I'm talking about in Japan. It's so fucking efficient.
Yeah.
I go, "Can I get number 1 and 2?" They go, "Hi."
Yeah.
And I move 3 steps away. Your order's ready.
Yeah.
I'm like, whose order?
Your
Like,
order.
Your order, fat boy. I'm like, oh, my order? That's how
Yeah.
efficient they are.
Yeah.
So I do believe in tipping in a place where the wage won't supplement how they're going to live. But if you want a higher pay, you have to work for that type of pay.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a hit and miss with a lot of service industry stuff. They go, well, I deserve a fucking tip.
Right.
Well, I work a regular job too and I don't get a tip. But I understand that you're not getting paid correctly. So the tip system does work for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, because there's one time where so this was when I became a waitress at that restaurant, and I was serving this table, and this guy that was sitting there, he was just saying, "Oh, this is amazing service, thank you," right? And then I was like, "Oh yeah, no problem. I mean, this is what I like to do for you," right? And so later, I heard like I guess there's 2 girls that was sitting with him, and they're like, "Oh my god, like why would you like say something like that or whatever," right? And he was like, "Well, that was her tip." To let her know that she did a great job. And I was like,
No.
and like I was so confused. I was so perplexed because like I understand that if my service is shitty or if anything, like however you feel, you can tip whatever amount, right? Whether it be $1, $2, $10, right? That's up to your own discretion, right?
Yeah.
But then like just to hear that was just like
It's highly offensive. It's like, who the fuck?
it took me back because I was like, oh shit. Like I guess that's one way to tip someone by saying that they did great service, even though you don't leave any money. Because
Yeah.
then it's just like, well, tip is optional, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just very confused by that because I just honestly didn't know how I felt about that. Because it's like, sure, I'm not 100% entitled to it, right? Because it's additional, it's optional.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he said that, I was like, wow. I was like, that's a interesting way of seeing things.
Yeah, you know, and some people are just fucking assholes, dude.
Yeah.
Some people are just rude as fuck.
Yeah.
It's hard on the service industry because like your job is to make sure that this person or your customer walks away with a great experience. But in that, you also have to exercise a lot of patience because
Yeah.
just because you are a great person doesn't mean that that person is going to treat you the same back.
Right.
And that's the fucking hard part,
Yep.
dude. Like, dude, when I was at the Men's Warehouse, let me tell you about this shit, dude. So I used to work at the Men's Warehouse in Tuxedo. So my manager that hired me on, first of all, shout out to Ken. Ken actually gave me a job, and I think like at the time I needed a job really bad, and he hired me. And to this day, we're still friends. Like
Oh, that's awesome.
I've seen his kids grow up, and everything, and so like you know, I consider him like family.
Yeah.
Every time I go back to Sacramento, I visit him. That's how much we've connected over the past years. But when I used to work there, dude, I used to run into some of the most asshole customers, man. Yo, let me tell you about this. There was this lady that came in, and so during tuxedo times, like when the most popular time for tuxedos are a couple times out the year. Other than that, they're not popular. It's wedding season, right? Which usually happens during the summer to fall around there. That's like when it's popping. And then during junior prom and senior prom, the most popular times for people to come in. Other than that, the business is pretty dead, especially for a tuxedo specific business.
I see.
And so during this time, the place was called Men's Warehouse Tux, so MW Tux. And they acquired a previous company from it, and it just became MW Tux later, and that's when I was hired on. So during these busy times, I had to deal with some fucking stupid ass customers. Now, mind you, me being somebody who is at the time didn't know how to exercise too much patience, depending on who it was, I had to deal with some shit fucking people. So there was a kid that came in for a tuxedo. I remember this kid, and I measured him up. I'm a bigger dude, so if a bigger guy measures him, maybe he'll feel a little more comfortable. So the kid was so big. I mean, no fault to his own. He did eat a lot, but he had like past like a quadruple X vest. So when you
Wow.
get a vest size that big on a tuxedo that's
Yeah.
past like quadruple X or 3X, it's a backless vest, meaning that you do have the front part of the vest and the back is just straps. And it doesn't really matter because you're going to have it over a jacket anyways.
Right.
So that's how it is. I explained it to him. I was like, hey, are you okay with the backless vest? You're kind of on the larger side, so there's nothing in store that can fit you. And if you go anywhere else, you're not going to be able to find one unless you get it custom made.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, it's cool. It's great. It's not a problem, man. Cool. So I fit this kid up, made him feel comfortable, and the kid looked sharp as fuck.
Yeah.
So after his junior or senior prom is over, he comes up with his mom. Now his mom, by the way, I remember exactly what she looked like, dude. She came into the store with this baby blue fucking floral print fucking moo outfit, like this one piece, silky and disgusting as fuck. Walking in looking like fucking Mexican Jabba the Hutt, dude. Like she was huge, dude. By the way, I fucks with Mexican people, but I do not fuck with that bitch. So she comes in, mad attitude, dude. She goes, excuse me, sir. I just wanted to talk to your management. And, my manager wasn't there at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. Well, he's not here, but let me help you out because I was closing up shop. She goes, I want a full refund for my son's tuxedo. I was like, okay, well, what happened? And she goes, nothing happened. The tuxedo fit fine, but his vest came without a back, so I want a full refund for the tuxedo.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember because I fitted him, and I was like, okay, ma'am. Let me talk to my manager real quick. I'll give him a call to see what I should do. But you did say the tuxedo fit well, and I did explain to your son that he can't have a back to his tuxedo because once he moves past like quadruple or triple X, it doesn't have a back. And he said he was completely okay with it.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I wasn't aware of that. And then mind you, as she's returning this tuxedo, there's other people looking for their tuxedos for their prom.
Yeah.
Right? So he had his prom and there's other kids. Every school has a different prom time.
Right.
And so like she's causing a fucking scene yelling at me. And this kid is embarrassed. Like he's sitting there just like pissed.
Yeah.
Because she's basically announcing to every person in that store that my son is a fat fuck and he can't fit anything. And I'm like, ma'am, you need to like lower your voice and relax. And I'm looking at this kid and he's embarrassed, right? I felt terrible for this kid. And I called him. He goes, well, he said he enjoyed the tuxedo. We'll just give a refund on the vest, and then we'll move on from it. Oh, cool. I was like, I can do that. I was like, hey, this is what we'll do. The tuxedo, he liked it, he enjoyed it, and the kid was like, Mom, the tuxedo's fine. Like he's upset.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right? And she's like, shut up. Like I'm talking to the guy. She's like super surly. And I was like, okay, we'll give you a refund on the vest.
Yeah.
She goes, no, I want a full refund on the tuxedo. And I was like, I can't do that because he understood that he liked it. Your son clearly said he enjoyed it, and we explained it to him. I can give you a refund on the vest, which was like, what, $20 or $30. Right. Says, I'll do that for you right now. And then she just starts screaming at me. I'm talking about at the top of her fucking lungs. And I got so fucking upset. I was like, I got to clown on this bitch. She had this lazy eye.
Oh
so,
gosh.
I'm talking about lazy as fuck. I'm talking about one eye directly into my eyes and the other one just passed the fuck out to the side. So I looked at her and I was like, ma'am, unless you look me directly in my eyes, I cannot speak to you anymore.
Oh my God, David!
And she was like, excuse me? I was like, look me dead in my eyes or I can't talk to you because that's super disrespectful. She goes, I am looking at you. And I was like, not from what I can tell. I'm just like clowning on her, dude. And I got so upset. I was like, ma'am, you're embarrassing your son right now, right? You're basically telling him that he was so large he can't fit a vest, and you're embarrassing your son. Mind your fucking manners. Like I'm talking to her like this, and she's like, I'm gonna call corporate, blah, 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 screaming. And the kid is just like hiding his face and she storms out. I had to deal with this type of shit all the time. And then she did call corporate. I told them the situation. I was like, she was screaming at me, yelling at me, asking for a full refund on a tuxedo.
Yeah.
And I was told that I should just give them a full refund on the vest.
Yeah.
And that the tuxedo was fine and the kid was okay with it.
Yeah.
And they didn't reprimand me and that's it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Dude, I clowned on that bitch, dude. Dude, she was huge.
People, God, it's that just infuriates me because I did encounter a few people like that at the restaurant.
Dude, I'll
too.
tell you this, man. I was fat,
God.
dude. So when a fat person looks at another fat person and goes, God damn, that's how fat she was. She was huge. She was so fat, her feet looked like they were gonna explode. Like her shoes had a fucking nice lean to it. Like
my God.
It was bad, dude. Like, have you ever microwaved a fucking s'more before and you see that marshmallow seep off to the side?
Yeah.
That's what her feet look like in those goddamn sandals. Fuck that bitch.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming you never saw them again.
Have you ever heard a fucking flip-flop scream?
No.
That's what you saw. Fucking fat-footed bitch.
Oh my God. I just imagine the flip-flops be like extra flat.
Yo, I don't know what she was sitting on. She was walking on a wing and a prayer, dude. That bitch waddled. She had a cane too, by the way.
Oh.
Because she was huge. She was like
Yeah.
400 pounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to that kid though for at least like, backing me up. Because he was like, I'm good with it. The tuxedo fit fine. And she's like, no, we didn't get it back. I was like, I can't help the fact that your son can't fit in something past 3 or 4 X's.
Yeah.
Once you pass 3 or 4 X's, I have to fucking find a curtain and
Yeah.
and make something out of it. I can't help you.
Did you tell her that it had to be custom made if she wanted it back?
No, I told her like you have to go buy a vest, it has to be custom made.
Yeah,
The kid was fucking huge. He was huge, very sweet kid though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Customer service is a fucking bitch, dude.
It is.
Dude, you know what I just realized? There was questions that I was supposed to ask you and we didn't even get to it.
Oh, really?
It's an hour and 10 fucking minutes in, baby.
Maybe next time.
I know. Before this podcast ends, I need you
Yeah.
to sing me one R&B song that you like.
One R&B song?
R&B, rhythm and blues, R&G, rhythm and gangster, baby.
I can't think of one on the top of my head except for like I believe I can fly.
You don't sing that song, Julia.
I don't.
You know who the fuck sings that? It's
I
R.
know.
Kelly.
I know, but that's the only song that's popping into my head right now.
Rapist song?
Hey, if you're talking about R&B, my mind automatically goes into the I Believe I Can Fly song, all right? I'm sorry.
I used to think that I could not go on, that life was nothing but an awful
I don't remember the words.
song, but now I be the you know what? Fuck that song, dude.
Yeah.
We're not singing that song.
No,
Next,
but-
another R&B song.
Oh my god, what is that? A Ghost Rider? Da, 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 da.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I think it's called Ghost Rider or something.
Oh wait. I think of you.
Yeah.
I want to be. That's not that R&B though.
Oh, sorry, I don't know.
You don't know a single R&B
I don't
song?
know, dude. Like I can't think of anything really. Honestly.
No Boyz II Men song?
I think I came a little after Boyz II Men. It was
Yeah,
more
but that's
Backstreet Boys and
classics, though.
NSYNC. Yeah.
We'll sing oh God, not a single Brian
I am
McKnight,
sorry.
Jodeci,
I've heard about Brian McKnight. I just don't remember much of his songs.
Casey and JoJo.
Casey, all my life, I pray for someone like
Sing the
you.
verse though.
I don't remember.
Oh come on.
Close to
Dude,
me,
I don't know if I could
like
be your
my
friend
brother
anymore.
close to me.
I don't know if I could be your fucking friend anymore, dude.
I'm sorry.
That's also something I played on the piano to get me some pussy.
I mean,
had
that
to.
was a great song.
I promise to never fall in love with a stranger. You're all I'm thinking of. I praise the Lord above for sending me the love. I'm very, very hug. I really.
All my life,
I pray for someone like you.
and I can't.
Nope. And I thank God,
Oh, thank God.
that I finally found you. Oh, Julia. Do better next time.
I'm terrible.
Anyways, guys, thank you for listening to this episode of Genius Brain Podcast. Remember, we are an interactive space. Leave comments below.
Yeah.
This podcast is just us talking shit and having conversation, man. A lot of podcasts have very unique guests that have this unique perspective about their jobs and their careers. We're not doing that. We're just having conversation and having fun, and we're allowing you guys to be a part of this conversation. So leave comments below if you're watching this on YouTube. Remember, we're on Spotify, Stitcher, Castbox, iTunes, podcasts, everything. And
Damn, all sorts of platforms.
We're on all those audio platforms.
Wow.
So just make sure that you guys leave those 5 stars and those comments below. Once again, shout out to audible.com for all your audiobook listening needs. We're talking about audible.com/GB. Get on that shit or text GB to 500 500, right? That's 500 They say text SMS code to 500 500 GB. All right, you guys. Where can they find you, Julia?
You can find me on my YouTube channel called X Blue Apples. Same thing with my Instagram. It's X and then the color blue and then Apple, and then there's a Z at the end.
Yeah, you made it fucking complicated this shit, bro.
I did, but you know what? I'm gonna stick with it, man. Like, I know a lot of people give me a lot of flack for that. It's like, dude, this is a dumb ass screen name that you had in high school. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna stick to it. I'm not gonna change it to my real name.
That's right, stupid.
Yeah. X Blue Apples all the way. Thank you.
All right, y'all. We'll catch y'all next time.
Bye.